Akiko, since I've had a broken hip, like your daddy probably told you, I've been unable to get out of the house. And I wanted to read at least this book that I had for you here before I get to the library and get you some of the Berenstein Bears that you said you like so much. But this book I bought up in Vermont with Grandma Roxy for over our anniversary, your birthday. It's called A Moose for Jessica. And I'm showing you pictures. The moose is this big brown thing. And that's a cow, which I'm sure you know. But it shows you how much bigger and how different it would be for a moose to be hanging around with a cow. One is wild and one is raised by a farmer. Anyways, the book is called A Moose for Jessica. Jessica is the cow. So I'll start. Larry, that's the farmer who took care of the cows, scanned the stand of trees on the far side of the pasture. This time he saw something over in the low bushes at the wood's edge. What the heck? He said. The branches are moving, he said to himself. A few seconds later, it occurred to him it was antlers. He said, it's got to be a deer. But then he saw this big brown body come out with the antlers, and he hollered to his wife named Lilla. He said, Lilla, come quick. You'll never believe it. There's a moose on our property. Hurry up before he runs away. Lilla, his wife, had never even seen a moose, even though she's lived in Vermont all of her life. Most people, even in Vermont, have never seen a moose before. Moose are wild and solitary, which means they stay by themselves, especially the male ones. And they also usually stay deep in the woods. So Lilla was very excited, so she ran to join her husband. So now Larry had approached the moose just to see what would happen. He wasn't more than 20 feet away, which is pretty close, and he was amazed at the size of the moose. He guessed it to be at least 6 feet tall from ground to shoulders. That's taller than your daddy or myself, just at his shoulders, not to mention his head and his antlers. The moose walked around Jessica, the cow, in tighter and tighter circles. Whenever Larry watched and the moose came within a couple of feet of her, he thought that she looked amazed at him, saying, this is a tall, dark, handsome stranger. Very majestic and proud. At least that's what Larry thought. But he was real close to the cow.
Oh, you're finally getting to it, huh?
Later in that day, as Larry went to put the hay in the shed for Jessica, he got a feeling he was being watched. He turned around and just a few feet away, that's the length of my arm, the moose appeared without a sound. He said, oh brother, this is going to be interesting. What will happen? He was afraid if he moves fast, the moose could charge and could outrun him, and it weighs well over 1,000 pounds, so it could be dangerous. But that didn't happen at all. So he continued doing what he was doing and putting the hay in the little shed for his cow Jessica. The moose observed him for a few seconds. It seemed like a longer time to Larry. And then walked off and joined Jessica back on the other side of the pasture. In the evenings, Larry would go to the pasture, and the moose would come over to the fence that kept the cows in. And it would stretch out its neck and look at him. And Larry would say, how or why did you pick us? He said, I'm glad you're here and that you're healthy, even if we can't explain it. That's what it would look like when he would talk to his moose. And I'll leave that for now. That's a long enough video, and then I'll finish the rest later. I love you, and I love the pictures. And I think you're getting to be a beautiful young lady, and I love the bell dress. That's a picture, you and Saya together on my wall, with you in that dress and her in the blue one. Love you, honey. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.